Introducing the Vice President and President and Prime Minister should be given up. Because they are known, they were elected. Sri G. Viswanathanji, President EPSI, Founder and Chancellor VIT University, Vellore. Professor Eric Cornell, Director General and CEO, EFMD. Dr. M.R. Jairam, Senior Vice President, EPSI. Dr. H. Chaturvedi, Alternative President, EPSI and Director, BIMTech. Mr. P.K. Gupta, Chancellor, Sharda University. And Sri P. Palanavel, Executive Secretary, EPSI. And delegates who are participating from different parts of the country as well as the globe, and my dear sisters and brothers. I am delighted to be in the midst of distinguished educationists and academicians from India and also abroad. Today, in the field of business education, we are standing at the cusp of change. The theme of this conclave sums up quite aptly Business Education 4.0, Futurizing Indian Business Schools. I am sure the galaxy of experts here from India and abroad with the decades of experience and knowledge will provide new insights and come up with a roadmap on how Indian business schools must reorient their content to meet future challenges. The world is changing faster. We are in a regime of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. As was just explained, on the other hand, we are also seeing now protectionism. We are also seeing some people are talking of nationalism in different contexts. So that being the case, these challenges are going to be manifold. There is nothing new in the phenomena of technology influencing human progress. Just look at the way the invention of the printing press revolutionized the transmission of knowledge in not so ancient times in terms of volume, speed and accuracy. Human progress has taken a giant leap by this technology intervention. There have been other instances like the invention of steam, locomotive, electricity and atomic power, which brought about tectonic changes in the way we lived and progressed. On this occasion, I would like to dwell briefly on the significance of business education for a developing country. Viswanathanji was concerned about the lack of adequate funds for education and India lagging behind in education. It's a fact. But we must also understand that we are a country of 130 crore population. And in the last 70 years, government after government, they try to do their best. But still, even today, we have 20% of the people illiterates. We are talking of business schools, we are talking of knowledge centers, we are talking of centers of excellence, we are talking of other new technologies. But at the same time, there is a challenge. 20% are illiterate. 20% of the people are living below poverty line. 20 or 18 or 16, whatever it is. Still, it is a good number. And there are regional disparities. And then there are economic disparities. Not only in India. I go around the world and I see how they are all poverty-stricken, how there are economic disparities, all these problems. So we have to have a holistic idea of meeting these challenges. And moreover, unfortunately, another thing in our mindset of people is education means employment. Education is not for employment alone. Education is for enhancement of knowledge. Education is for enlightenment. Education is for empowerment. And then education is for employment also. That has to be understood and appreciated by one and all. Now, I can assure you and Viswanathanji also, with the present trend of economy moving forward, I am sure India will become economically strong. The World Bank report, the World Economic Forum report, the ADB, Asian Development Bank report, the International Monetary Fund report, and also the international rating agencies like Moody's ratings, not Modi's ratings, Moody's ratings. Everybody is confirming if India moves at this pace, India will become the largest economy, third largest economy in the world. So that being the prospect of future, I am sure the government will spend more and more money on education. Another thing has to be agreed upon is that the government have encouraged the private sector in a big way. And there are good examples of private sector getting into education, technical education, and also certain areas, research also, and really doing well. But at the same time, we have to understand that education, after the independence, education was a mission, not for any commission. Should not give any remission or not do any omission. That also has to be understood by all the concerned. It should be a passion to educate the people. India was once upon a time was known as Viswa Guru. Students from all over the world, they used to come to Nalanda and Takshashila, Pushpagiri and other places. They used to come here and study in India. That was the past. And this is what we are saying. Huan Song, Pahian, Chinese historians, they wrote about India at that time. So that being the case, we must reconcile to the reality, accept the challenges and work together. Now we are allowing foreign direct investment. We are also allowing PPP model, public-private partnership. I feel that it is the duty of the government, state or center, to encourage more and more people under PPP. If not in all aspects, at least the government should give educational institutions land at a very nominal or affordable cost. Should encourage institutions coming in private sector in a big way by giving them other tax reliefs and other things. That is also required. I think the government is thinking on those lines. The business education is an important aspect. In India, we also had a weakness earlier. Business means people are not willing to talk about business once upon a time because we were influenced by Soviet model for some time. So, though you don't meet businessmen in the daytime, but do business with them in the night time, which is bad. In America, lobbyists are allowed. Lobbyists are respectable people. Here, lobbying is done, but lobbyist means you look down upon. But he does his work. You are seeing also what is happening in various deals and all. So we have to have a change of mindset with regard to our approach to business. After all, they are also partners in the development of the country. When you talk of socialism, when you talk of universal this thing and all, first of all, you have to create wealth. Once you create wealth, then you will be able to distribute wealth. Without creating wealth, if you start distributing wealth, you will become pauper. That's what is happening to some of the countries also. So one has to be realistic, first of all, to create wealth. To create wealth, you need business. So that's why business has to be given importance, business has to be given respect also. And we should encourage more and more children to study the business schools to come out with new models, new innovative ideas and all. See, in our country, we are all seeing now, of late, there is a change of mindset and a lot of people are taking to business and governments are also encouraging business. Now the Prime Minister said reform, perform and transform. Transformation in every walk of public life. Transformation of the lives of the people. So he wanted the government also to transform, and earlier people used to complain about red tape, delays. Then he said, no red tape, now let us put red carpet to the business people. Earlier you were not ready to talk to them in daytime. And then ease of approvals, ease of doing business, facilitating the business in a much better way. All these things, these are all changes that are coming worldwide, and India also is now moving. That's why India is also growing. India also is growing. World Growth rate is around 3%. Powerful economy next neighbor China is 6.8. India, with all the problems, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, people are talking about it. That means there are greater opportunities. If there are greater opportunities, there is greater importance for the business schools, business education. This is how I would like to see it. I would like to briefly dwell on the significance of business education for our developing economy. It is quite evident that trained human capital is a vital strategic input for creating wealth and growth of GDP. India has a history of nearly 60 years of providing quality business education in our country, fueled by our legendary IIMs in the public sector and by notable private management institutions like the ISB, XLRI, Jawaharlal Bajaj, SP Jain, Narsi Monji, BIMTech and others. There are a lot of other institutions also. While the academic experts will seek to come out with appropriate tools suited for business education, 4.0, I reckon that critical challenge in business education are twofold. One, learning from adopting suitably the best practices followed globally. There is a saying, wise men learn from others' experience. Fools learn from their own experience. As we all have become wiser, we should try to learn from others' experience. That's why these conferences, exchange of ideas, seminars and symposiums, so that we can learn from each other's experience. Here the choice is between the Western, Chinese or the Singaporean models, which are successful in their own right. We also need to look at the role of MOOC and other tools of learning which have become quite popular and in some cases integrated into management courses. The second is about addressing the challenges we face in India in this field, about creating models suited to our ethos and environment. That is, do we have a jugaad or a frugal engineering model to tackle this problem? That's the question. It would be evident that disruptive tools from technology have to be integrated with the management subjects to formulate the new paradigm that you will be discussing in the coming 2 days. This would also have implications in determining the skill sets needed in the undergraduate and postgraduate management areas. You have with you a bevy of experts and all the experience and brain power to work this out. I feel that the fourth industrial revolution has already created ripples around the world, and all business leaders are trying hard to prepare their organizations to meet the future challenges. Indian businesses have also now realized that there will be a paradigm shift in the Indian job market in the coming years. The new jobs will require new skill sets and also new type of curricula in business schools. We cannot depend on yesterday's teachings to prepare students for tomorrow's future. This has to be understood. Business schools must ensure that their graduates are well equipped to take on 21st century challenges. They need to have the knowledge and skills to tackle the grand challenges being created by Industry 4.0. I understand that the fourth industrial revolution will also require a rethinking in the whole learning experience in our universities and colleges, particularly in business education, engineering education, and also in all verticals of professional and technical education. Business schools are going to face big challenges arising out of Industry 4.0. They will have to prepare MBA students for jobs that do not exist and to use futuristic technologies for problem solving. Mission of business schools will never be the same again. Schools should be creating future leaders and managers who are capable of doing new things. Now let me also talk about the role of EdTech, education technology, to be played in Indian business education. Business education worldwide has been using the traditional lecture method and case study method for imparting lessons in management. Lately, simulations and other experimental methods have been used extensively. So, continuous improvements in functional efficiencies of smartphones, laptops, and tablets have made it possible to learn anytime, anywhere. Disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, deep learning, machine learning, etc. are making it possible for learners to learn fast and effectively. Use of big data and business analytics will be playing an important role in making MBA graduates' future ready for leadership roles. Last but not the least, I would also like to emphasize that the governance and regulatory model of Indian business schools will need a new, fresh thinking. The old model of command and control has now become almost obsolete. The regulatory framework for MBA, postgraduate diploma programs, was introduced in the 1990s, which was based on the context of the business environment prevailing during pre-liberalization period. It laid too much focus on physical infrastructure and inputs to those programs. Post-liberalization, Indian economy has radically changed from being a manufacturing economy to a global economy with the dominance of the service sector. Looking forward to the next 5 years or so, there is a requirement of a regulatory framework which will be supportive of innovation, experimentation, and entrepreneurship. I would like to emphasize the need to incorporate business ethics and values as an important integral element in management education. This is very important. Going by the experience of recent happenings, few people doing some mischief or becoming black sheep, they have spoiled the name of the industry and business. And then they loot here, cheat here, and then go and stay somewhere. So that's why I have been advocating in the international forums. Two things are important. One problem is terror. Terror is the enemy of humanity. It has no religion or region. It's the enemy of humanity. Peace is prerequisite for progress. So the international community must come together. The United Nations should conclude its deliberations which are going on for years together, and then come with some concrete action to see that the funding of terror is stopped. And those countries who are aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists are isolated. That is the deed of the hour. It may be today India's problem, tomorrow it will be problem of already America's problem, Europe's problem, Russia's problem. I don't think there is any country which is left out. This is spreading like a virus. So it's high time that the international community must come together and act together. India, we don't want anybody's help to tackle terror in our country. We are capable. We are capable of tackling the situation. But we want the international community to take care of the people who are trying to do mischief from outside. And India is a civilization we love peace. We are a peaceful nation. We never attacked any country. In spite of being one time rich country in Viswaguru, India never attacked any country. Other all Tam, Dick and Harry came and attacked us, ruled us, ruined us, looted us, cheated us also. I don't have much stronger words than that. But still, India never attacked any country. Will never attack also. But at the same time, we can't be passive spectators to what is happening. So this has to be put an end. And we are determined to do it. And yesterday's action was one in that direction. We will be giving a befitting reply. And I would like to compliment Indian Armed Forces for giving a befitting reply by conducting preemptive strikes without any casualties of civilians. The second point is black money. Black money also is a major challenge to the entire world, our system. When you want to have an inclusive economy, when you want to take care of everybody, when you want to see the fruits of development reach every person, you need to take care of this aspect of corruption. I am not talking of Indian context alone, even the worldwide. For that, black money has to be eliminated. Countries must have an understanding, all of them. There has to be an agreement that to exchange information with regard to black money being held up in their countries and exchange about information about bank accounts. It's not on the request of one country, other country gives. It should be an international agreement. With all this experience of the recent years, I am advocating this. And the third one is the economic fugitives, economic terrorists. You must have that extradition treaty with each other so that these people cannot root here and then go and stay there and then say, no, my life will be in danger. You made people's life danger here. And then you run away and then make accusation against your own country. This should not be allowed. So these are the things, a civilized world order. A civilized world order, if a country is civilized, they must act on all these three. In all these three. And it's high time the world community come together. Because we, after this many years of experience, with so much science, with so much technology, with so much other things, we should have a peaceful life. Mere prosperous life is not going to be useful. You need a peaceful life. Then only you will have a happy life. Happy life is different from a rich life. There is no guarantee that every rich man will be happy. You need a social order. You need people respecting each other. You need people to respect law. And you need government to take care of the needy. This is ultimately brings happiness. And you need, of course, a spiritual thrust also. That cannot be trusted on anybody, but that also should be available. So, my dear friends, I would like to emphasize the need to incorporate business ethics and values as an important and integral element of management education. This is a must. During my school days, I remember we used to have a moral science class. We used to have so many classes. We used to have a PT class, physical training. That is also missing now, because education institutions are in multi-storied buildings nowadays. Then we used to have a NCC class, NSS class, National Social Service, Air Wing, Navy, all this. Most of them are missing. And we used to have a craft class, because Indian crafts, a lot of people are involved in that, various crafts. We used to have a craft class. Then we used to have a gardening class. Gardening class is very important to understand the importance of nature and the greenery. We are all seeing the effects of neglecting nature and how the climate change is happening. Now the entire world has to seriously think about the climate change. We must love and live with the nature. Love and live with the nature, that should be taught to our children from the beginning itself. And nature, culture, together for a better future. That should be the approach for all of us in the not only Indian context, but also in the world context. And then we used to have a moral science class. Now science remains, morals have gone from the system, education system. So it's time again to bring back ethics and morals into become an integral element of management education. It's not that everybody has become immoral or unethical and all. There are a lot of people doing great business in India. There are many companies who are known for their values, and that's why they are able to survive also. But these fly-by-night operators, people without scruples, they have to be taken care. One is to educate the children from the beginning itself, and second also to have tougher laws, which the Prime Minister, of course, I have never seen any government bringing that many tough laws as far as insolvency, as far as black money, as far as evasion of taxes, as far as these demonetization, and also bank financial inclusion. Some people were wondering, I was minister at the time, and the Prime Minister said everybody must have a bank account. So I told him, being one of the seniors, okay, we will do it during our course of our tenure, we will complete it. Prime Minister said, during course of your tenure? I said, so 50 saal mein nahi ho paya. A thing which could not happen in 50 years. If we are going to do it in 5 years, it's good. He said, no, it should be done earliest. Prime Minister is Prime Minister. Everybody kept quiet. But my friends, shall I tell you, the delegates from outside, within 16 months, 36 crore people have opened bank account. Same bank staff, no OT. Everybody has done their duty. OT means overtime allowance. That was not there. Open. That is financial inclusion. Reaching the unreached, recognizing the unrecognized, funding the unfunded. That is what is required for a proper order in the society. The Mudra Bank, loans being given to helpless people, that is also in the direction. At that time, some people, skeptical people, started saying, sir, there is no money. What is the fun of opening a bank account? Paisa nahi hai to bank account kholne mein matlab kya hai? Some people talk. But those people who are talking about not having any money and about the ineffectiveness of bank accounts, they realize the importance of bank account on 2016 November 8th evening. After hearing the Prime Minister, they started looking to the drivers, watchmen, cooks. "Bhai, आपके पास तो account है ना? You have some account, huh? So that I can keep my money there for some time." That is the effect. Now you have seen the systemic changes that have come in the country. People may criticize politicians. They will be doing their job. I don't want to join them. I am no more in politics. But the number of people who have joined the income taxpayers, the increase in the revenue of the government, the widening of the tax net, and the GST, goods service tax, people initially had problems. Any reform, I can tell you, my dear friends, there will be problems. There will be temporary pain for long-term gain. You have to go for reform. Temporary pain, even to get a vaccination also. During my childhood days, we used to run away from the village. When that Tika man, vaccination man comes to village, we used to run away. And some of us used to go and hide in cattle shed. And that doctor, being a sincere fellow, he came and climbed up the cattle shed and put it in the back. It's a real experience, I'm telling you. Normally they put it here. So temporary pain for long-term gain. And this black money and other things, this counterfeit, these are all like cancer. If the cancer is spreading, then you have to go for tough decisions. Some people said, "Sir, I am told if you take this medicine, chemotherapy, then you will have hair fall." I said, there is no compulsory that you should go for chemotherapy. Choice is yours. Whether you want to have hair fall or ever fall, you decide. Whatever choice is yours. The country and the systems has to go for some tough decisions. Tough decisions. There may be some shortcomings, and those has to be rectified. Countries should learn from each other's experience. And then the leakage, the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi has said that if I put 100 rupees from Delhi, by the time it reaches Thiruvananthapuram, 15 rupees are reaching, the other money is leaking. So they're keeping that in mind now. Direct benefit transfer. JAM, Janadhana, Aadhaar, mobile. Whatever money is required, you just draw and then put into your bank account. You need not go to anybody, meet, greet, shake hand, do something in between hand. Nothing is required. You direct benefit transfer. These are the new ideas. These are all business ideas, I must tell you. They are all part of business ideas. You must improve systems. You need to bring systemic changes. And also, while emphasizing on ethics and morals, we must also plug the loopholes and bring effective remedial measures. Otherwise, some people who have got greed, they ruin organizations and individual reputations. We need to also make family business more efficient. I also have a suggestion. The strength of India is the family system. The reason for happiness in India is the family. In the family, grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, brother, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, all together, and whenever something happens to somebody, other man comes to his rescue. That takes care. That brings really societal order and peace and happiness also. But slowly it's withering. So we have to strengthen the family system and strengthen the family business models. There are some successful business models in India, and also in abroad, even in Europe also, in America also. We need to study those business models and suggest and make it part of our curriculum for the younger generation in the business schools to study the family business. Family has been India's society sheet anchor, and traditionally family business have provided continued service and contributed to societal development. Our students should study these methods as well. I have great pleasure, my dear friends, in conveying my warm greetings and good wishes to Dr. G. Viswanathan on his completion of 20 years. I have known Dr. Viswanathan since long as a distinguished person in public affairs, as a member of Legislative Assembly MLA, as a minister, as a member of Parliament from Tamil Nadu, and now as an iconic educationalist who has established a world-class technology institute at Vellore. The VIT is a name in India. And there are students from abroad also have been there to that institute. I was so impressed by the standards that are maintained, discipline that is followed, and education that is being imparted to students. I was so impressed. And that too, in India, for a person to leave politics is not easy. Unless you are thrown out, people normally do not go out of politics. And also some people do not leave politics till their deathbed. They don't make way for their children also. Or at the most, some of them, they make way to their children. But here is an example. He was an MLA, he was a minister, he was a member of parliament twice, and then giving up all those things and going for a noble profession of taking education as a mission and doing a great service. He deserves all our appreciation. Dr. G. Viswanathan has adopted a number of villages in an effort to improve the quality of their lives. He has embarked upon making Vellore, a city of around 5 lakh people, greener and cooler, one by planting 1 million saplings. To conclude, I would like to say that for preparing Indian business schools in the face of challenges of fourth industrial revolution and for developing them for business 4.0, all stakeholders in business education, regulatory bodies like UGC, AICTE, business schools themselves, and recruiting organizations should join hands so that a future roadmap for Indian business education could be charted out. I would like to thank you all for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Sometimes my views are very, very frank, but I can't help it because I want to convey my views. I have not come here to speak on behalf of somebody. So I have to, I have 40 years of experience in public life. 40 years. I have covered all the districts in the country, umpteen number of times. And what all I have learned is learned through people's lives and their experiences. So I feel that it's our duty to convey to the people what is right, what is wrong, what is our experience, and share our experience with others. Because share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. I would like to thank you all for giving me an opportunity to share my views and thoughts on the core theme of the conclave. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.